Hello and welcome to the video. This video is all about how I survived not one, not two, but 3 or 4 scorching heat waves last summer in this van. Anyone that has been here for a while will know that last year I was given a Wave 2 from EcoFlow. I think it was last November, so I've had it for almost a year. And back then I just did an initial review of it, but now I can tell you that without that I would not have survived the heat waves. So first of all, let me give you a summary of my thoughts on the Wave 2, and then I'm going to show you how I've worked out how to make it work best for me. It's been a game changer. I don't have to worry about the extreme hot weather anymore. So the first thing is I have put this through the ringer. I have ran it 24 hours a day for about 4 or 5 days in a row in temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius. And it's never missed a beat. It's ran non-stop. I was so impressed. I thought at some point it was going to overheat, it would shut down. It's just gone and gone and gone. And it did that, like I said, for 4 or 5 times. And I ran it pretty well every single night for about 3 months. So honestly, it's just been a game changer. Now, when I say I ran it, it does come with its own battery pack, but I have run it when I am plugged in to the wall, to 240 volts here in Australia. I haven't tried to run it too long on just the battery pack, and I don't think it would survive long. I had it running like full blast on the heat waves, but if you can plug in, it is just brilliant. It's just great. I've already used it a couple of times this year. There were some really warm nights and I just go to a caravan park where I can plug in and I can run it and I get a good night's sleep. One of the things I use it the most for is to cool the van at night and to get a good night's sleep. That is one of the most important things for me. If I don't get sleep, I'm hopeless. And the van gets warm at night. It's closed up pretty well. It's me and the dog, and it can start off okay, but about 2 o'clock in the morning I can quite often wake up hot, even with the fan running. I still haven't put the vent in, which I am still planning to do, but it just gets warm. It's a small space. There's 2 of us in there making a lot of heat. You know, the fridge will be running a little bit. And so it's just so good for keeping the van cool at night and for getting a good night's sleep. Now, I have tried multiple locations of where to use the air conditioner, like as in the van, and I'm going to share them with you, trying to work out what was the best thing, what would work best. So the first thing I tried was putting it in the front seat, and I've got video clips here to show you. I put it in the front seat and I would then run the vent, the tube, through my curtains. And my curtains are like thermal curtains, so they do protect a bit of the temperature. And I would run it through there and then basically just have the windows down and the hot air would blow out the windows. That was not ideal, firstly because the hot air is still in the van, and it's still heating up the cab when some hot air is getting through. And secondly, this air conditioner actually sucks the moisture out of the air, so it's a nice dry, cool cooling, and because it does that, there's water that comes out, and when I had it in the front, the water was coming out on the front seat. So that was not an ideal situation. The next thing I tried was putting it outside the van and then venting, using the cylinder, the vent, to bring it in. And initially I was putting it on garbage bins because it's just a little bit too, the vent is a little bit too short to actually put it on the ground and then get through the window and into the van. So initially I was putting it on garbage bins, and that actually works really, really well. And I was then able to, it's got a hose for the water, I was able then to drain the water outside. So that actually worked really well, but I don't always have a garbage bin I can use. I did use one at my friend Faye's house. I have stolen a garbage bin before at a caravan park, but it's probably not an ideal situation. So the next thing I worked out was, instead of the garbage bin, I have a folding stool, and it's just the right height. If I put the folding stool on the ground and put the air conditioner on that, and I can then run the vent up through the passenger window, and now instead of coming through the middle of the van, I bring it just into the side, and I can just move the curtain out the way, and it comes in just, let's say this is the headrest and this is the side of the van. I just bring it right in here through the side, and it works perfect. That is my preferred way to do it. I can still then get in and out of the cab, like peek through the cab, get things out of there, and it works really, really well. And again, the water is draining out. Now, there's one time where I had to bring it in the van, and I'll explain to you why. So when I've worked out, it has an app, and I love the app. And the app will tell you the temperature that is blowing in, that the unit is blowing out. It will tell you the ambient temperature around it. So I worked out, if the air around it is really hot, it can only cool it so much. It only has so much capacity. And on a few days, I think I'll show you on my phone, it was almost 43 degrees Celsius. And I had it outside, and it was blowing air in that was like 30 degrees. It couldn't cool it enough. So what I did was I brought the air conditioner inside. I moved things around. I brought it inside so that it was then pulling in the cooler air, and I did then vent the hot air out through the window. And you can see in this picture, that vent, it gets so hot, and I was trying to insulate it, so I wrapped a blanket around it to try and make insulation. So I would recommend that you insulate. If you're going to have that inside the van and you're going to have the hot air, the hot vent coming out, you need to get some sort of insulation on it, because it was just heating up the van. But that worked really, really well. And I had me in the van, and I had 2 dogs. I was house sitting at the time. I had 2 dogs, and it was 43 degrees outside, and I had insulation covers on all the windows. I had the van in the shade, and it was 30 degrees Celsius in the van. So it wasn't cool by any means, but we were comfortable. We were comfortable. If you walked outside, it was like walking into an oven. So that was probably the worst day that I had. And it worked, like I said, it worked really well. And I just ran it 24/7. And once the sun goes down, it doesn't cool off that much. But once there's no sun, and I have the air conditioner running, the van cooled off quite a lot. So that is how I used the Wave 2. That is how I survived multiple scorching heat waves, and I will be using it again this summer. We are coming into spring here in the Southern Hemisphere, and it's going to be another hot summer. Like I said, I've already had to use it a couple of nights where it's just been so warm, and it's just brilliant. And I know I've seen a few people review it, and they say it's no good if you're running it off the battery, and I agree. If you're trying to run this off a battery and in an extreme heat wave, it won't be enough. You need to plug into power. The other thing is, I have a Toyota Hiace. For the size of my van, it's perfect. I don't know how well it would go for a bigger van or a bigger caravan. But for me, it just works absolutely perfect. And it's take away a lot of stress, because I'm staying in Western Australia for the summer. It's going to be hot again, but I know already a few hot nights, we can just plug the air conditioner in. We'll go to a caravan park, we'll plug in the air conditioner, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be absolutely fine. So that's my review. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, or any other comments you want to put. If you have experience, I would love to know. This is my experience. This is what I've lived through with it. Like I said, I've had it for almost a year. I have run it through the ringer, and it's never failed. It's never failed. I'm just so impressed with it. It just runs and runs and runs and runs. I have run it for days and days and days on end for 24 hours, and there's not been a problem. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.